What's up, guys? Welcome to the I'm Catholic YouTube channel. Welcome to the I'm Catholic project. We have a really interesting topic, I think, to discuss today, and that's AI and the interaction of AI with our faith, the interaction of AI with our relationship with God, and really, I think, how AI interacts with our lives in its own little way. I tend to adopt a very pragmatic approach when it comes to AI. I'm not this huge fanboy of it, and I'm definitely not a pessimist about it. I think the reality is that it's here to stay. It's probably only going to get even bigger than what it already is. And so the reality is that we have to adjust. We have to either learn to use it or learn how to make sure it doesn't use you or you don't become a victim to the way that it is being used. Having said all of that, let's dive deep into what it means for our faith, because I think that AI in a very real way is going to be step change for the way that I think people come into a relationship with God, the way that we go forward in terms of evangelizing, and also I think it's going to really both help but potentially influence our faith. Part one, the good, almost the pros of bringing AI into our relationship with God. AI can help us learn scripture faster, understand church teaching more clearly, access homilies, theology, prayers, and formation instantly, break down barriers for people who feel intimidated by the faith. And just to touch on those, I think that AI has the potential to be one of the most impactful evangelization revolutions that we have had. Just think about the way that it lowers the barrier to entry to the faith for a lot of people. I don't have to worry about sounding dumb when I ask AI a very simple question, both about the faith, but potentially about the nature of God, right? Like, I don't necessarily need to approach someone and seem almost ill-informed or ignorant or anything of that nature. It's really just a very easy and approachable way to find an answer. For someone beginning their journey, AI can be a doorway. It can answer questions people are too scared to ask out loud. And that's not nothing. That's grace at work through human creativity. It is a tool. I really do think that there is power in this tool. I think there's a lot that can be grasped, and it can increase your efficiency exponentially. It can really take away a lot of the grunt work related to evangelization work or to ministry work. It can take away a lot of the necessary research if you ask very deliberate and targeted questions. If you know enough, AI can really be transformative in the way that we work when it comes to evangelization. I now don't need to trawl through the full catechism. I can ask AI, please can you give me a relevant catechism provision that says X, Y, Z, or touches on X, Y, Z, right? The convenience that we can pick up from that, or as was mentioned, the way that it lowers the barrier to entry into the faith, I think is really, it's transformative. And I do think that this will be a wonderful tool in that sense. But let's look at the flip side of that. I think there is a danger to bringing AI just wholeheartedly into the faith and just letting it almost run wild. If you don't have enough faith, or if you don't have enough knowledge about the faith, this can be potentially dangerous, both for our faith, but also for the faith of others. AI can sound wise without being wise. It can simulate understanding without love. It can respond instantly without truth. And the danger is subtle. We start replacing relationship with response. Instead of praying, we ask a machine. Instead of wrestling with God, we outsource the struggle. Instead of silence, we choose stimulation. God doesn't always answer quickly, AI does. And that should worry us. Faith is our relationship with God. It is the way that we interact with Him. It is the way that we struggle with Him, the way that we grow with Him. And if we're just asking a question for a response, it's easy to think that, okay, I'm learning more about God, so that means I must know God more. That's not true. We start to almost think that knowledge about God equals our relationship with God. And there is a risk in that. In fact, we know that this is something that's actually challenged the church before. It's called the heresy of Gnosticism. It's the idea that the physical isn't actually that meaningful, and it's divine knowledge, and we should only pursue divine knowledge as the ends towards a relationship with God. And that's not necessarily true. Learning about God is not developing your relationship with God. And there's a lot of overlap over there in terms of learning about God can heavily improve your relationship with God, because we start to understand Him more and we start to know a little bit more about Him and how He interacts with us and how He interacts with the people around us. But God is not a test. You can't write an exam about him. You can't, and then use that as the metric to say you've got a relationship with him. Then there's other things as well. I really do think that as AI grows and develops, there is a risk that we make an idol out of AI itself. It's got all the answers. We can rely entirely and solely on that. We don't need to ask God. We don't need to worry about God because the answer is here. There is a risk that in using this powerful tool, we dispose of the most important relationship we will ever have. That being the relationship that we have with God, and that being the relationship that we have with other people around us. Sometimes the Bible story that pops into my mind when I think about AI is when Moses goes up onto the mountain. He's now going and getting the 10 Commandments from God. We're getting a very difficult teaching from God in this moment. And down at the bottom, the Israelites melt all their gold and they make it into a golden calf, which they start worshiping. I think we run the risk of when God gives us a difficult answer, it's easier for us to pursue AI or to run towards it to find an easier answer, a more simplistic one, or one that's more straight up, especially when God is trying to talk to us in silence. And in so doing, we step away from this relationship and pursue more of a relationship with the chatbot or pursue more of a relationship with ourselves. There is a real risk that we replace God with AI. We need to prepare for a world wherein God is almost at odds with AI, because I think that there is going to be a community in time that develops in that way. No machine can replace confession, sacramental grace, genuine prayer, a lived relationship with Christ. AI can inform the mind, but only God can save our soul. Across this year, we're going to be having conversations that I think are really relevant for us in our everyday life. I want to really touch on things that could be difficult or could be challenging, but we want to emphasize that God is in those difficult conversations. We don't have to avoid it. We don't have to look for ways to dodge difficult conversations. And so what we as a channel are going to be doing is we're going to be running headfirst at difficult conversations like AI, contraception, cohabitation, difficult conversations that I think we often avoid in the church. And I hope that you'd be interested in coming along with us for that journey. Please subscribe to the channel and please share this video with someone who you think would really benefit from a video like this. My name is Marco Manzella. I'm Catholic and I'm proud. I hope that you guys are too. See you guys soon. Ciao guys.